Check 1, 2. Namanda, 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 namanda. Good morning, everyone. That's not what you want to hear. Happy New Year! Thank you so much for joining us. 新年明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。That's the long version in Japanese. Short one is koto yoro. Oh, ake ome koto yoro. Thank you so much for joining us here for our New Year's Day service. I'm glad to start the new year off with a peaceful visit to the temple. We'd like to begin the service with Sutra chanting. And so we will recite Juseige, which is on page 23 in the small purple book and page 93 in the big purple book. So you can use either one. Namanda, 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 namanda. Goncho segan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshogak gao muryoko Fui dai seshu, fusai shobingu, seifu joshogak, gashi jobutsudo, myosho chojippo, Gyokyo Bridge Seifu Joshogak Ryokujin Shonen Joeshu Bongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Tenninshi Jinniki and Daiko Fushomu Saido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shyakunan Kaiichi egen meshi konmoan heisoku sho akudo tsudatsu zen shumon koso jomanzok Iyoro jippo Nichigatsu shujuki Tenko onpugen Ishikai hozo Koseku dokuho Jodai shichi Seppo shishiku Kuyo isai butsu Gusoku shutoku hon 元寝出上慢得意三害よ如仏無下知津脱未不詳願学へ陸都市最小尊志願や国家大戦を感動国書天人とうち妙見ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性祭道本菩提心往生安楽国ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダナマンダナマンダ。Okay, next we'd like to recite the three treasures, and that is in the small purple book on page 3. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you once again. Welcome everyone to our New Year's Day service. I'd like to deliver the Dharma message, and I'd like to begin with a quote from our founder Shinran Shoni, so you can join me in Kansho. May there be peace in the world, and may the Buddha Dharma spread. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you very much. What a beautiful day. What a wonderful time to have our New Year's Day service. And there's a couple of things I've been thinking about. One is thinking of this time as a kind of reawakening. Right? And one way I'm thinking of that is in terms of the winter solstice that we just had a couple of weeks ago, right? When the longest night. And we've passed that. So I don't know if we can notice it quite yet, but the days are getting longer. Right? And so, in a way, it feels, and here in the Bay Area, we're having wonderful weather this year. Last year was terrible, right? Last year I couldn't even come for a New Year's Eve service because it rained so hard my roof started leaking, but people still came. This year we're having this wonderful weather. We're having some rain, but not too much. And so I kind of feel this kind of feeling of reawakening. Right, as we are going through winter, even though winter technically just started, and yet I think we can kind of think of it in this way. But maybe more importantly would be reinvention. Right? Isn't this a kind of time of year of reinvention? And normally I think we think of that in terms of ourselves. New Year's resolutions. Right? This kind of special time of year to think about, is there something I'd like to change in my life? Right? Is there something that I'd like to do differently, maybe improve on, right? So that we can make these New Year's resolutions, right? I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to be more like this. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't made any yet, but I'm thinking, right? And in order to do this kind of resolution, I think it can involve a lot of self-reflection, self-introspection, right? Kind of honestly looking at myself, and thinking about what I might like to change. Now, change is not easy, right? It can be very difficult to change. How old am I? I'm 53, right? So I've been around for a while. I got a lot of habits, right? And it can be really hard to change that. But Buddhism says, as much as it acknowledges how difficult it is to change, but change is still possible. Right? Change is possible. Maybe I can't do it all by myself. Right? Maybe there's a kind of process of transformation, right? That I can set my sights on a way I'd like to be and work towards that. But it's not just me. Buddha's helping me. My friends, my family, my Sangha are helping me. Right? And so thinking about this reinvention. I've done it sometimes in my life. I think back to when I went to college. Right? I made a really concerted effort to study harder, start writing papers and studying for tests sooner, right? And I actually did it. I look back at my life and I realize, wow, I actually have achieved that in my life in the past. But it didn't mean that I was the perfect student either. Right? And I didn't always get the best grades. But thinking back on my life, I think that part of this self-introspection is looking at myself. And that doesn't mean just now, but my whole life. Right? And looking at that honestly, right? And realizing, in my case, wow, I did it once. Actually, and it was not an instant thing. It was like a 4-year process. Right? And yet was able to do that change. So remembering that for me is maybe an important thing. But it's not just myself. When I'm talking about this reinvention, I think it doesn't only have to be myself, but this popped into my head this morning. Can we reinvent the world? Right? Could we reinvent the world? If only we could reinvent the world. Okay? And so thinking, what might that be like? If I was going to try to reinvent the world, what would I want to try and do? And so, speaking as a Buddhist minister, of course, I would want to do it based on Buddhist principles. One thing that Buddhism identifies in the world is the 3 poisons. These are greed, anger, and ignorance. Right? And Buddhism looks at these: greed, desire, attachment. Right? It's not a sin, but it's harmful. Right? Recognizing these things as poisons. So if I just have greed and desire running my life, it's going to hurt me. Right? Anger, hatred. It not only hurts the person I'm angry at, it hurts me. Ignorance. just not being aware of the way things really are, right? This just creates more suffering. And if we look at this past year and we look at the world, I think we find lots of greed, whether it's greed for material items or money or power, right? That just causes more suffering. Anger and hatred, why do they flare up the way they do? But they do, right? And it's horrible. We've seen continuing wars and new wars, so much suffering in the world, starvation, right? Due to greed and anger. And so that's part of what Buddhism recognizes. And so I would love to reinvent the world without those things, right? Or maybe without so much. But Buddhism isn't only the negative, it's also positive, right? And so other Buddhist principles I would want to turn away from the three poisons and turn towards wisdom and compassion. Right? Or maybe we could call it awareness and kindness. Right? And so Buddhism asks us to try and be more aware, to try and see things as they really are, not just as the way I want them to be or I think they are, right? To be willing to question my own perceptions and try and be more aware in my life. But then also the compassion, kindness, that's core Buddhist values. Right? That in Buddhism, if I could reinvent the world in a Buddhist way, it would be run on the principles of wisdom and compassion. Right? Trying to reduce the suffering, not just of people I like, not just of my tribe, not just of my country, not just of my religion, but everyone. Right? It's universal wisdom and compassion. Now, I'm not a Buddha, right? But the texts, Buddhist texts and sutras, we chanted a little bit Juseige from the larger sutra, and I'd like to read a passage from the larger sutra as well. And so this is maybe one way we could think about the way the world could be. Wherever the Buddha comes to stay, there is no state, town, or village which is not blessed by their virtues. The whole country reposes in peace and harmony. The sun and the moon shine with pure brilliance, wind arises and rain falls at the right time. There is no calamity or epidemic, and so the country becomes wealthy and its people enjoy peace. Soldiers and weapons become useless, and people esteem virtue, practice benevolence, and diligently cultivate humility and modesty. So this passage, is written several thousand years ago, and yet people at this time, I think, had this wish as well. Right, to think about a world where it's not overrun with the three poisons, but instead, right, is peaceful, harmonious, people getting along, where soldiers and weapons, we don't even need them. That's the best line in this passage, huh? Soldiers and weapons become useless, right? Don't need them anymore. And so this is a very high-level dream, right? Maybe, again, not easy to accomplish, and yet, why not hold this, right? Why not hold this as a wish for this new year, right? A wish for peace and happiness for all. Very difficult to achieve, and yet, I think that if you listen to each other more, listen to the stories of those who are suffering, and try and make this world a better place. It starts here, right? It starts with me. And so I continue looking at myself, trying to reinvent myself in some ways. And maybe I haven't so much lately, but this year I kind of feel that urge, right? To improve myself even in small ways, but maybe in ways that I can, but also to try and have an impact on the world around us. This is also, I think, found in Shinran Shonin's statement that I read at the beginning. And so I'd like to wish you once again a happy and healthy 2024, happy and healthy new year, where we can be at peace, and not just myself, right, but for as many as possible. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's conclude the Dharma message with Kansho, and I'd like to just read this short statement of Shinran Shonin once again. May there be peace in the world, and may the Buddha Dharma spread. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namo. Okay, and let's turn it over to Robert Noguchi for announcements. And just give me a second to get it up and running. Okay.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Oh, no, hold on. One more button. There, go for it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Sensei. And I'd like to wish you and Mrs. Bridge, as well as Reverend Michael Endo, a very happy, safe, and healthy New Year for 2024. And also all the friends and members of the Buddhist Church of Oakland. Happy New Year to you, too. So thank you very much for joining us today for this New Year's service. For those of you, I'm not sure if the screen is up at the church, but for those of you who are on the YouTube broadcast, I am sharing my screen now. And I'm just going to go through very quickly some of the some things that we have going on for just a quick look at what's to come this year. So starting this Sunday, the 7th, our Dharma School year resumes, our 2023-2024 Dharma School year resumes at 10 a.m. with service with Reverend Bridge and Dharma School classes right after that. And just kind of also another footnote is that our Gakuen Japanese school will also restart this Saturday for the weekend classes on January 6th. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, please contact the church office. The following weekend, Sunday, January 14th, will be our Honko service, which is the memorial service for our founder, Shinran Shonin. And it is one of the most important services that we hold during the course of the year. So that'll be on Sunday, January 14th, and we'll be serving lunch. It'll be the first Otoki lunch of the new year. So we hope you'll join us for that on Sunday, January 14th at 10 a.m. We started basic classes and discussions about Buddhism late last year, and we're going to resume that coming up starting this month. We'll have a study class, which will be kind of more in-depth look at Buddhism on Saturday, January 27th. This is actually rescheduled from the 20th because of a schedule conflict. So that'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday, January 27th. And then we'll have our Dharma chat, which is on Saturday, the next day, Sunday, January 28th at 10:45 after our Dharma family service. And everyone is welcome to attend. Dharma chat is a little more informal Q&A and discussion about Buddhism. So I hope you'll join us for these two items. And we hope to have these every month through the course of the year. Taking a look at some of the major services for the year, Hanamatsuri will be Sunday, April 7th, 2024, our flower festival, Birth of Buddha. The Bazaar and Food Festival, we're looking at Saturday, June 15th to hold that. That's our tentative date right now. Our Obon Festival, always very popular, Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, and with our Hatsubon and Obon service the very next day, Sunday, August 4th. So I hope you'll join us for that. And something that we just finished doing just a couple of weeks ago, our Mochitsuki is tentatively set for Sunday, December 15th, and we wanted to thank everyone for coming and helping. It was a tremendous turnout and everything went very well. So we thank everyone for all their help and support for the Mochitsuki this past year. And what happened yesterday, the New Year's Eve service will be held Tuesday, December 31st at 3 p.m. and you get a chance to ring the bell. Thank you very much for supporting the Buddhist Church of Oakland. We hope that we will be seeing you lots this year, and thank you very much for coming and being part of today's New Year's service. So with that, I will turn it back over to Sensei, Reverend Bridge. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Well, we got catapulted all the way to next year's New Year's Eve. But no, let's stay here. New Year's Day. I just want to point out, actually, Dharma School will start on January 14th. But this coming Sunday, we will have our Dharma family service and our January Shotsuki monthly memorial service. I'd like to add an acknowledgement. Thank you very much. After this service, you can come up and offer incense and take a moment, I think, to contemplate the beautiful altar. This area, the Naijin area, represents the Pure Land, and adornments were done by Reverend Michael Endo, the flowers and setting it all up. So it's so beautiful. So this opportunity, peaceful opportunity to be able to sit and contemplate the Buddha and the Naijin. Also, I wanted to, it's kind of sad, but the robes that Reverend Endo and I are wearing, these kind of special orange robes, are called shikie. Normally we wear the black ones, right? And sometimes we wear the white one, but these orange ones were gifted to both of us by Reverend Dr. Seigen Yamaoka, who was the minister here back in the 60s and in the 90s and 2000s. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. And so we're kind of wearing these partly in celebration of the New Year, but also in loving memory of our teacher, my mentor, really big loss for our community. But I know that he would want us to go into this new year, 2024, with optimism and introspection. So thank you very much. This will conclude our New Year's Day service. And we'd like to conclude with Kansho, and then you can please come up and offer incense. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you. Dozo.